What's up, everybody, and welcome to Around the Monitor for the week of October 30th. It's Halloween weekend, baby. Get ready for all your spooks. This is the gaming news talk show where every point you make in the discussion is a point towards winning. I'm your host, Zach, and joining me once again, we've got the unlucky tacticianer. You might know him from twitch.tv/thegreen8ball. It's Jason.
Good, yeah.
We've got the ace attorney, Pridge.
Ever since we lost our our screen names, I'm not dapper anymore. So now I just look like a slob.
Oh no!
That part of my identity is dead. So
It's
now
been stolen.
That is true.
Now I just look like crap.
Son of a bitch. And last but not least, we've got the world's #1 Psychonauts fan, David.
Also, the world's #1 Tales of Symphonia fan. Finally got that platinum trophy. Let's go.
Like I said in the intro, this is the gaming news talk show. Basically, we talk through the week's news in gaming. Everybody gets points for points they actually make in the discussion. And whoever has the most points at the end of the show wins for that week. If you are watching live on twitch.tv/KingKaiser, you can use the channel points to vote to add or take away points from people if you agree or disagree with their opinions. Special reminder, because this was heavily abused during last week's stream, you can't give more than 1 point per round. Just, you can't. You can't do it, guys. Otherwise, the show just falls into chaos, which we love, but...
Save the chaos for Chaos Jeopardy, everybody.
Exactly. But we always start the show with a trivia question to determine the order. And this week, Assassin's Creed is going to make an appearance in the news topics. My boys, how many copies has the Assassin's Creed franchise sold in its entirety? Because it's got to be high. There's been a lot of these games, and
They sell well.
and they do sell well.
I'm gonna look like a fucking dumbass no matter what I do. So I'm gonna do 666 million copies. Whatever.
600 million copies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck it. I don't give.
That's
You sh-
bold.
You should have made the question: how many copies has the Assassin's Creed franchise sold where you can play as a female? Just for a stealth,
Not many.
just for a stealth dunk on Ubisoft.
I'm totally not buying time. By the way, let's go.
I'm just gonna say 100 million.
100 million?
Okay, there's been like 11 games. Probably sold more than 10 million apiece. So 200 million.
200 million. The correct answer is 140 million copies,
Ooh.
which does mean the order will be Pridge, followed by David, followed by Jason.
Oh man.
Let's...
It's almost like Jason didn't want to go first.
So if I go last, I can read more of these topics.
Tactical int.
Yeah.
I like it.
Speaking of the topics, let's go over those real quick. We've got shocking, even the developers. Today, Cyberpunk 2077 announced that they will be delaying the game 3 more weeks into December 10th. Netflix is now working on an Assassin's Creed series. That's not going to come anytime soon, but hey, I guess more video game into movies, TVs, whatever. Halo Infinite's director Chris Lee steps back from the project. Control now arrives on Switch with as the first cloud streaming game to come to the Switch outside of Japan. Bugsnax is going to be free on PlayStation Plus members for those who have it on the PlayStation 5. Todd Howard said that it's hard to imagine Elder Scrolls 6 will be an Xbox exclusive. Facebook continues its bullshit with Oculus Quest accounts. Hey, remember those Atari hotels that we were talking about? Like literally, I don't know how many months ago they announced they were going to make Atari branded hotels, which nobody wants. They put up some like Cyberpunk concept art for them. Again, it just doesn't make any sense. How is Atari going to make any money on these? PlayStation's Destruction All-Stars has been delayed to February out of the launch window of the PlayStation 5. It will also be a PlayStation Plus game. Xbox is giving away one of those Xbox Series X fridges that we've seen memed about so much. Nintendo is dropping the price of a single Joy-Con to $40. And last but not least, Phil Spenser hints that Xbox might be working on a streaming stick that you would just plug into the back of your television to play games on Xbox Game Pass through a cloud service. Going into it, he hasn't said much, but Hector gives a point to Jason for a great argument.
That's not how it works,
and,
dude.
hey,
I didn't say anything.
It does, though, apparently.
Maybe it was a great argument for strategic inting.
That could be it. That could totally be it. Pridge, what would you like to talk about for the first topic of the show?
Okay, I'm going to dive right into the big story of the day and just start us right out with Cyberpunk 2077.
Heck yeah. Go right into it.
So, who is excited to play Cyberpunk 2077 on November 9th? Well, the answer is no one, because you can't. Because Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed until December 10th. Which, again, in all honesty, is only like a 21-day delay. So it's really not that significant. It's still like, again, but it's still in that winter months. It's still around the time when the new systems, I guess a little after the new systems are coming out. So that's not in and of itself much of a story. The big thing is just how confident CD Projekt Red was with this coming out.
Yeah.
They were fully committed. They were bragging. They were so excited. They were all on board this November 19th release date until they weren't. And there's a couple extra parts to this story. One, they found out internally the same time they told us, which is weird. I just in general don't like that.
Yeah.
I always feel like the people internally working on it should always have some degree of advance notice before the general public does. I'm not saying it had to be like days or something, but at the same time is just a little unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, imagine somebody working at their desk and like just glancing to the side at Twitter and being like, "Oh, hey, this thing I'm actively working on right now is, fuck.
Oh, and here's the email at the same time telling me the same thing."
Yeah.
Again, second, they're already under fire for the no crunch but yes crunch issue they've had, where they were trying to not do crunch and then they found out they have been doing a bunch of crunch. Made almost worse where I forget who in the company, but during an investor meeting basically said the crunch wasn't really that bad. And then like not more than an hour later had to do like a giant apology to the entire company because he completely underplayed the amount of crunch they've been under. Which again, not great PR for CD PR. No. Yeah.
They should take the PR out of their name and just be CD.
Yeah. And then the final thing that's weird is the reason people think these delays are happening is they're trying to get the game ready to launch on the current gen. Reports say that it's ready for PC and next gen, but the current gen systems are the ones that are causing problems. Which is kind of weird, but at the same time, I've heard that Watch Dogs Legion is like clunking out people's Xbox Ones. So I guess it sort of makes sense. If you made a game that's going to primarily run on the next gen, it might be a little much for the current gen. So it's one of those things that seems weird when you say it, but actually kind of makes sense. They aim too high and now they got to reel back a little bit in QA to make sure that it can run on the current gens, even though at least, well, I guess I shouldn't say a majority, but it feels like a next gen game, even though a good amount of people, at least at first, will be playing it on the current gen. So to conclude, it's all a little weird. CD Projekt Red is hitting themselves a little bit, but it's not really going to matter in the long run. It's still going to be a very exciting game when it comes out.
It's I mean, pretty much like the guy's message to the company, the email he sent out today after he spoke on the investor call, being like, "Oh, the crunch wasn't bad," and then he had apologized. It's just like he literally says, "Like, I didn't even mean to speak about crunch. I don't know why I spoke about crunch, but I did, and I'm really sorry." And it's like, yeah, why did you even bring it up? I didn't listen to the investor call, but the way he makes it sound was like that he brought it up, and it's like, Why did
No,
you do that?
I think someone asked him.
That would
He
make
just-
sense.
He was just hoping to like give a short, play it off answer, and he ended
Yeah.
up just making a really bad answer.
It's yeah, the mishandling of this and the way it's kind of rolled out and played out online has just been terrible for them, and it sucks because yeah, I'm absolutely excited to play this game, but like all of the stuff that's coming into this is like weighing me down of like, man, I'm still excited to play it, but it definitely is gonna like sour my experience because I'm gonna be like, hopefully, you know, once we get through it and once it's out, I'll be having a great time. But at the same time, I'm gonna be like, man, what was the man cost? Like, what was the human cost of
What was the human
making this
cost?
game?
You know what's actually really punk is not showing up on time. Like, they did it.
That's it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's pretty punk. Punk metal.
Pretty punk to develop
Yeah.
a game for
Yeah,
7
exactly.
to 10
Yeah.
years
Yeah.
for the console, which is PS4/Xbox One, and then
Mhm.
not able to run on that one.
Yeah.
Show up on time, you're square.
Dan Sayonara stand in the chat says so many of these games have to be the worst of both worlds, either destroying your old system or not taking advantage of your new one. Exactly. I think designing games for this exact like time period in the console cycle is a nightmare for developers. They literally said in the thing that like currently we're building 9 different versions of Cyberpunk 2077, which is the most buck wild thing to even think about. But yeah, especially for a game that is supposedly as big as it is. David, what would you like to talk about for the second topic of the show?
Well, I'm pretty sure this one is here just for me. So let's talk about Facebook and the Oculus Quest.
Damn it! That was letting me mom.
Tell us about that the old Facebook fuckery.
So as an owner of both the Quest 2 and the Rift, here's the thing. Facebook is making you use a Facebook account to play on your Oculus devices,
Mhm.
which, let's be real, they bought Oculus. If this shocks you, you're an idiot. So obviously they want you to use a Facebook account. Okay, fine. At face value, not a big deal. Just make a Facebook account. Don't use it. Problem solved. Problem is they have been like deleting, banning some of these fake accounts because it's like
Yeah.
against their terms of service to make a fake account. So that's not cool. They should be letting these people who either don't really use Facebook or don't want to tie it to their main account to just make another account. Who cares? Let them have this. That's really the scummy part of this. It's not the rule, it's the enforcement of the rule.
Correct me if I'm wrong too. From what I understand, if you get caught for attaching your Oculus to a, you know, kind of essentially like a fake account or a paper account, they essentially brick your Oculus. Like you can't re-register it to another account, right?
I don't think that's true.
Okay. I hope it's not, but I heard some people saying that online, and I'm like, holy
I
Christ!
didn't see that one, and it's not in the article.
I would
so
be
I'm not sure on that.
furious to pay $300 for my new VR thing, just make an account to get away with it, and then all of a sudden be like, nope, it doesn't work.
Yeah, that would actually be fucked up. That's not okay. What is okay that people are kind of mad about? Again, I shouldn't say is okay. What would be okay if Facebook was actually doing bans and stuff correctly is you lose access to your Oculus library for that account, right? It's all tied to that account. So if you buy games for that account, you get banned, you no longer have access to those games. Guess what, everyone? That's how Steam works. If your Steam account gets banned because you do stupid shit with it, violate terms of services, be racist in chat and stuff, you lose access to those games. Same for really any online platform. Epic Games, if you get banned if your account gets banned, you lose access to your games. Steam, League of Legends, if you get banned and spent $17,000 on skins, those are all gone. That is the risk of not buying things physically anymore. So that's just comes with the territory of a digital thing. Again, wouldn't be an issue if they were actually applying these bans correctly. If you are saying racist shit and sharing racist shit on Facebook and your account gets banned, fuck you. You don't get to play Oculus games. Whatever. I don't care, dude.
Listen, the idea of somebody saying something racist on Facebook and actually getting banned is also laughable because that never happens.
Yeah, that's also pretty laughable, but it happens occasionally. The The only thing in here that worries me is there are some people that are also reporting if you have two Oculus devices tied to the same account and they are active at the same time,
Mhm.
you can get banned, which is fucked up. Because, like, I have a Rift and I have a Quest 2. If I have, say, I have a partner, roommate, or whatever that is playing on my Rift and I fire up my Quest 2, there's a chance I can get banned and lose all those games. That is not cool. They need to change that. Like, now.
Yeah, it
That's
seems like
just
such
insane.
an obvious like bad move on their part.
Yeah, like, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to prevent account sharing and access to Oculus libraries and stuff, but, like, people buy multiple headsets or they have an old one that they still use.
Mhm.
Like, I might still use my Rift in addition to my Quest. Like, maybe my roommates will use it. Maybe I'll have people over and one of us will get on the Quest, one will get on the Rift.
Mhm.
Yeah, they didn't think that one through. That was a dumb move. Like, I don't understand that. That's like, policy wise, the thing in here that makes the least sense to me. The other stuff makes sense at a policy and doesn't make sense when they're enforcing it. And it's just I'm so, they're doing so many things right with the, like, Quest 2, but at the same time taking so many steps back with all these rules and their enforcement of them.
Yeah. It feels like every other week we hear like, oh, Facebook is doing this. Like, and it's just it's been I think like three times over the last few months where I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, just let me enjoy
Yeah.
your good VR software or hardware, and don't fuck me over with Facebook, which is like increasingly becoming a shitty platform to use. But here we
It's
are.
literally like, let me give you my money, stop being an asshole. Is
Right.
kind of where I'm
Right,
at
right.
with this.
Very good point. Jason, are you ready to talk about something?
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of sharing, I got a good transition over. Speaking of sharing the same account,
Uh-huh.
let me set the mood for the next topic I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna announce what it is, but you'll be able to pick it up through what's going on here. So sharing in the same account. You're single, looking to mingle because you started a YouTube channel in your late 20s. All right, you're still single, and you're like, hey, I still get dates on dating apps. I don't meet any people in real life. It's a quarantine, whatever. All right,
My
cool.
God.
And you're like, hey, this person on Tinder, let's Netflix and chill. Okay, pull up Netflix and chill. That's great. Let's go over. And you're in the middle of it,
Oh.
and rather over you're messing around with your hot pocket like dinner because you're not going to spend money.
Okay, I didn't know you're messing around with this hot. I was like, what are you trying to say?
It's a Tinder date. I'm not going to spend real money.
Okay.
So it's not going to go anywhere. So we're Netflixing and chilling. I'm barely paying attention to what's on the screen right now. But I'm like, wait a minute. We're back in the past. It's the Templars. What's going on? I look and I see. I'm like, I recognize this plot. It's Assassin's Creed. There's an assassin. Sure enough, he's stabbing somebody and jumping through hay barrels. Great. Do we need that? Maybe. I don't know how it'll go. But like, it's like one of those things, like, the people that it's probably targeting, like, I don't think would watch it, and I don't think anybody else is going to watch it. So I will say that out of like most serious games that are like AAA titles or whatever, that is one of the best things to make into a Netflix series, in my opinion. If you do the Desmond arc, don't do anything after that because then it won't make any sense. Do the Desmond arc because those original games had a lot of good. They were more, the first one specifically was more like you were watching a movie rather than playing. Besides doing repeated, stealing tasks, it was really boring. So like you see that and it's on Netflix. I'm like, are you really like who's your target audience when you make that show? Like it's sort of like that's what I always say when you do like video game movies, shows, or like comic series, web series, or something like that. Like the people you're targeting, I don't know if like are diehard enough to like go back and even like cycle through it again. I want to see the Desmond arc again. Or, like I was like, okay, you just play the games. A lot of the time it comes down to, would I just play the game over again instead of watching a Netflix series, unless it's like the best thing on like God's green earth. How did the Witcher series do? I know I've heard good things about it.
Very well.
How did it perform,
So,
or
like,
how was it critically received?
Yeah, so like
both, it was pretty good, but
they do
performed
good.
super well.
It's just like, I don't know if this is you have to do Assassin's Creed a very specific way. If you've ever played it, like I said, the series kind of splits apart like halfway through after like Revelations. Like after that, it gets really messy, and then you're almost like doing like episodic. It's almost like you're watching like the History Channel in like your class, your high school class again. If you do after Desmond arc, like you might as well not even be watching Assassin's Creed at that point. Like, the music's going to do 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 do. Yeah, that like we don't need that again. So you have to do the Desmond arc, and it has to be like on the level of Witcher for me to like consider it a success. And I know Witcher's high praise, but like this is a story that could sell that well. It's just I don't know if the time frame for it to get done is too far in the past, because the Desmond arc is like at this rate, Revelations was 2012, maybe 2013, 14. So like
something like that. Yeah,
it's really far behind where it needs to be. So that's my insight on it. Sorry, I added a little Tinder date. But,
2011.
Yeah.
Wow, almost a
really
decade.
old.
I mean, they literally were like, we're still looking for somebody to be like the showrunner. So like this is we won't even see this for at least 2-3 years if this does go through and get done. But
yeah,
I will say I saw somebody talking like
they shouldn't make a new story for it either, because the story's already good enough anyway that they don't need to do that.
I saw somebody saying the idea of like, what if they did I mean, one of Netflix's super popular shows right now is like the Haunting series. Like they've done The Haunting of Hill House and they did The Haunting of Bly Manor, just came out, where they use a lot of the same actors, like American Horror Story, where they use like a lot of the same actors throughout the series. Somebody was like, what if they did it like, oh, this is this person's ancestor in this time period who was an assassin, and you get to see them, you know, in like Egypt times, killing people, doing whatever, and then it's like, oh, and then they had an ancestor who was in the Trojan War, and it's the same person playing that same character, playing a different character in a different time period. And it's like, that could be interesting and be very Netflixy, but
the only problem with that is you're either going to be stuck with very Eurocentric, or you're going to
100%
ask how someone in Egypt looks like someone who's also fighting in the Trojan War.
I mean, hey, listen, that's the history of Hollywood. Am I right, baby?
He's taking the ancestor. Assassin's Creed, he goes like into the ancestor of the person, is what they say. I don't know. It's some bullshit. Like I don't fucking know.
Dan Sayonara stances.
Altair's my guy.
Assassin's Creed lore is the coolest idea told in the dumbest possible way.
Yeah, one of the biggest ball busters is they don't let you play as Desmond for like most of the fucking game, and he's like the main character.
Is that really a ball buster? I always thought the worst part for the Desmond part.
Yeah, exactly. I was just saying they are, but like when you're playing the first game, you're like, oh, okay. In the second or third game, he's gonna join Assassin's Creed, and like you're gonna be like jumping around like skyscrapers. No, fucking doesn't.
Yeah, they're like, he's training to be an assassin, and it's like, bro, is he ever gonna get better?
No, bro. Spoilers. Since the game's 10 years older, you fucking stab your girlfriend. Like great.
Started with Netflix and chill, ended with stab your girlfriend.
Yeah.
It all comes full circle.
Yeah, just say when the date ends, like right as the dagger's going through Lucy. It's like, god damn it, dude.
Moral of the story: do
leaving.
not invite a date over to Netflix and chill to Assassin's Creed, or you may end up stabbing her. So don't do that.
Or who knows? She might end up stabbing you.
That's the moral. I thought the moral was never have hot pockets.
Listen. Just like the Assassin's Creed franchise, we kind of lost the plot on this one. Really quick, Dan Sayonara does give a point to Jason for the disappointment of never actually getting to play Desmond in his own game.
You walk around. That's cool.
Yeah.
Walk.
Sorry, Pridge. What were you going to talk about?
Control.
Cool.
And stuff. All right, so yesterday, Nintendo dropped one of its surprise mini partner showcases.
They're getting really good at that.
Which are those things that, despite Nintendo telling us exactly what to expect from them, people somehow still find a way to expect too much, because people are bad at consuming media. However, yesterday's Direct Mini was actually pretty awesome. With a lot of really cool stuff announced. One of the more interesting ones was that Control, which is a pretty popular game released last year, is coming to the Switch. It's going to have like all of its DLC and stuff included. And it's also the first instance of ray tracing on the Switch. It is admittedly a pretty big step for the console. Obviously, the problem is this is the cloud version, so you need to have good internet connection for it to work. And for a lot of people, the Switch is the mobile system, so there's a little bit of a bummer there in that this will be a game you will not be able to play mobily. But let's be honest, who really gives a shit about Control? Because No More Heroes 1 and 2 got recorded to the Switch! Let's go!
That wasn't even the topic.
Topic to talk about No More Heroes!
All right. Only because I also stand No More Heroes. Please talk about it.
So we're getting a No More... So we've always known we're getting a No More Heroes 3. That's been in the works for a while, ever since the Travis Strikes Again sort of 2.5 was well enough received where...
Man, I forgot about that.
We got enough. It was well enough received where we could get the green light for Assassin's Creed 3, which had like a trailer, which had like a teaser trailer like a year ago, and it was awesome.
It was a great trailer.
The fucking like goofy potty humor aesthetic of those games for some reason fits very well. So we got to see a little more about that. Again, it's an undisclosed 2021 release date, which was pretty much expected at this point. There was obviously no way it was coming out in 2 months with the minimal we knew about it. But the very cool surprise drop was that they ported the first 2 games to the Switch, and they released like a couple hours after the direct. And those games are decently old. The first one was 2007, and the second one was only a few years later in 2010. They're very fun games. Again, they are very juvenile, very silly, very graphic. But they're a fun combination of mini games, hack and slash combat, and really, really intense boss fights. Some of the boss fights clunk a little bit, but overall, they're a lot of fun. So I'm really glad I'm going to get a chance to play these again without having to bust out my Wii. It's really good. It's actually really good.
Please don't bust your Wii out on stream.
Don't say it like that, man. We're all mature here, dude. We know what you're talking about.
We're talking about No More Heroes, so that kind of humor actually fits. About it.
Let's say Dan Sayonara Stan in the chat says, I finally get to jerk off my Joy-Cons.
That's what I was saying. The literal motion for recharging your swords is just jerking it.
Yeah.
Also, there is gameplay for No More Heroes 3 technically on YouTube now.
Yeah,
it does have Suda51's face in front of like a third of it.
Which is such a good troll on his part.
It's very on brand.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah, but most importantly, ray tracing for Control.
Hey, listen, if you've got the Wi-Fi, more power to you.
Because that's totally what I came here to talk about. I didn't even know what that was before I read the article.
Didn't know what ray tracing was, or didn't know what Control was?
Didn't know. No, I watched you play Control actually, so I know what Control was. Yeah. It actually did look pretty cool. I had no idea what ray tracing was.
The world building is seriously some of the best in recent memory, but the game itself is fine. David, topic 2 for you. What would you like to talk about?
Man, do I go for memes or news?
I mean, typically on this show, memes do get you more points, but there is some good.
You know what?
Topics.
Let's talk about both. I'm gonna combine 2. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, take it away.
All right. So, the Xbox is giving away an Xbox Series X fridge. Do you need a lesson on how to properly market anything? Look at Xbox.
That's a good idea.
They accepted. They announced their console. They showed their console. Everyone's like, "Hey, it looks like a fucking fridge." What do? They put it photoshopped as a fridge in the background of a Zoom chat in a presentation months later. And then months later again, they fucking reskin a fridge to be an Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
Send a bunch of them to influencers and Snoop Dogg because it was his birthday. which was just great.
Random choice on that one. Listen, PlayStation scooped up Travis Scott. They said we got to get on the old guard. Travis Scott's the new face of gaming. We got to get Snoop Dogg in here.
We gotta get Snoop Doggy Dogg in here for him to open up his Xbox Series X fridge that is filled with his branded gin and juice.
Which is also, it's so brilliant. Cake. God damn it. That's such a good thing for him to be investing in.
It's so great. Just everything about this is such a perfect move. I was looking at the sweepstakes. The fridge is only valued at $500. It's probably a shitty fridge. That's not the point. The point is that the fridge is an Xbox. And you know what you can play on Xbox? xCloud. Here's what's gonna happen. They're gonna release a dongle for your fridge. That dongle's gonna plug in so you can play xCloud on the Xbox Series X fridge on a monitor that I'm sure is hidden in there somewhere.
Oh my god.
This is
Not gonna
next
lie.
level marketing.
Not your best transition there.
Are any of my transitions good? Generally, no.
Debatable.
But like, this fridge is great. This is great marketing. Lesson to anyone out there doing marketing: if people make memes and they're not too like bad, just lean into them. Make the memes your marketing. This is how you do better in 2020. Just meme. That's marketing 101. Make memes.
Yeah. We've 100% seen a bunch of brands embrace the meme strategy, and Xbox going all in on the fridge joke is brilliant. I wish there was a better joke that Sony could do, apart from just Jesus God, our console is so goddamn big. But I don't know what to do with that one. Jason, would you like to talk about the final topic of the week?
Yeah, I'm gonna combine 3 things that have a common.
3 things. Not to be outdone, he says, I'm gonna take 3 topics. What the fuck? How are you gonna do this?
Okay. So, real quickly, it's gonna be basically like if you saw my trivia question, it's gonna be repeating that close to it.
Okay.
We'll see. All right. So, Nintendo Joy-Con.
Mhm.
All right. Atari Hotel. Todd Howard. Todd Howard, it's hard to imagine all of those things to just work, honestly. The fucking Joy-Con, the hotel, and Elder Scrolls being an Xbox exclusive. It's not going to work like that. Sorry.
Right, that was really good.
That was good.
But I briefly want to talk about each of those real quick. So essentially, the Atari Hotel, like the only reason people would ever go in there is they get confused and they're like, oh, this looks shiny and bright. You put in like Vegas somewhere where they're like drunk or like looking to get down on something. I don't know.
Looking to get down on something?
I don't know, dude. You put some like gambling like casinos in there, people will flock to it no matter what. They're gambling like that. You're gambling that they know what Atari is anymore, so it kind of like coincides with each other. So that topic is a wash. Nintendo Drift, I could bash this. Not on a Tinder date this time. I was playing Fire Emblem. Let me tell you, a game that requires no drift, no nothing. You just move people on the map, and guess what fucking happens? I end my turn instead to fighting the boss, and he kills me because the thing drifted up and selected a menu. So Nintendo doesn't need to just lower the cost of $10. Okay, I have a grand idea, Nintendo, since you again are making fucking hovercraft with square wheels, because that's Nintendo in a nutshell. You have a hovercraft fucking wheels, which makes no fucking sense. Here's what you need to do. Don't lower the price. Fix it. Fix. Don't fix the fucking drift. You sold a fucking defunct thing. It's like, we'll make it cheaper. The broken thing. No. I don't want to rebuy it. I want you to fix it. Anyway, that's a bit of a rant on that. And then Todd Howard. Oh my god, dude. Like, just Elder Scrolls being an Xbox exclusive, like, yeah, of course. It's hard to imagine it'll be like just you need to sell your game because no one trusts you anymore. So you have to put it on as many platforms as you can to scam people. So like, dude, just put it on it. Put it on like PC. Put it on your 10-year-old's phone so they buy it. See, you already did that with the your Shelter or whatever game you played. That sold pretty well. So like you're doing pretty well for yourself. Just put as many systems as you can. I heard Wave, like the Wave thing is whatever that game is or system is selling pretty well too nowadays. So like just put on that. Just put on anything. I'm so distracted.
No worries. It's
I
yeah.
don't
Dan Sinar is it Stan in the chat says I bet Jason blames his Smash losses on Joy-Con drift.
I would lose without the drift, but the drift makes me. The drift. Here's the thing: the drift makes me look like I'm like match fixing. Okay, like there's a difference. Like it's not even competitive. It's just like Banjo's like running near the edge and it's just like and just fucking runs off. And then they have to do an investigation. Is this guy inting so like somebody can be professional in Smash Brothers, and then they have to go to prison for being in that scene. So like, dude. Honestly, like,
all right, an extra point for bashing Smash players. However, that will not be enough because Jason and David, it's time to go home and become family men because this week's winner is Pridge. Are you prepared to talk?
Yeah, sure.
All right, take it away.
So, not in 2 days. No, not tomorrow. Or if you watch this live, not in 2 days. But in a week plus 2 days is Extra Life. And we're going to be doing lots of streaming for Extra Life. We got a lot of good ideas. Going to be a lot of fun stuff, a lot of party games with viewers, a lot of some unique things we're thinking of, probably some more Chaos Jeopardy, maybe some regular Jeopardy. Who knows who the heck is calling me on Discord? Jesus. But Saturday, November 7th, tune in to this stream and watch us do all the shenanigans. Watch us do all the shenanigans for Extra Life because it's gonna be a good time.
How many hours is it?
David, how many hours?
It will be at least 24. Probably more because I'm a psycho.
David, would you like to talk more about this Extra Life stream because I believe you are kind of in charge of it. You have a better idea than I do about what exactly will be happening.
Pridge nailed down most of it. We're still figuring out the exact schedule with everyone's availability, but we'll be going from sort of midday-ish to midday on Saturday the 7th to midday-ish on Sunday the 8th. It'll probably be a little before midday for West Coast, a little bit after noon for East Coast. We'll see. Schedule will go up before Extra Life. But we will be doing Video Game Jeopardy. We'll be doing Chaos Jeopardy. We'll be giving away prizes again. We've still got like 70 Steam codes or some crap like that. Yeah. So we'll be giving away Steam codes. We've got co-op dating sim play, which will be hilarious. There'll be lots of games. There'll be ways for viewers to participate either with polls for which game probably I play, or to play with party games with us. So join, donate if you can. There's a big old button below the stream if you're watching live.
Yeah, we do have the
we do have
Extra Life extension set up. So yeah, we've already got some money down. Help us hit $1,000. Well, thank you all for tuning in again. We will be back tomorrow with Around the Controller, and yeah, next week we'll have this show again, obviously, but then, yeah, next Saturday is our Extra Life stream, so tune in for that. Like Mizuki said, lots of giveaways, lots of fun, lots of shenanigans, and until next time, this has been Around the Monitor.